If you want to know everything about spring training in Phoenix, Arizona, then this is the video for you. Spring is in the air, or for most of the country, wintertime and a lot of snow. But down here in Phoenix, it is 72 degrees as I speak right now. It is gorgeous outside, and that means baseball season is right around the corner. See, one of the main reasons people love Phoenix is for the beautiful weather that we have, especially this time of year. And Major League Baseball players are no different, and fans of baseball are no different at all. But people don't just come here for the baseball because you have so much more to do. The outdoor lifestyle is off the charts here in Phoenix. The golf, the mountains, the resorts, the pools, and the list goes on. And the Cactus League with spring training fits the mold just perfect. Oh, and don't forget to stay to the end of the video because I have a bonus tip to discuss with you. This is the ultimate guide when it comes to spring training baseball here in Phoenix. We're going to talk about everything from the teams to the stadiums to what's going on around the stadiums, seating, the best days to go, and the list goes on. So stay tuned and buckle up because we're going to get into it right now. But first, if you want to reach out to us and just skip everything else, call us right here on the information on the screen, or email or book a time for us to have a 15-minute Zoom call to go over whatever questions you have about spring training, baseball, or more importantly, real estate. See, I've been selling real estate in the Phoenix area for over 19 years, and we have over 450 5-star Google reviews. Check us out right there. So about half of Major League Baseball makes the trek every single year in February down to Phoenix, Arizona. See, all of the 15 Major League Baseball teams that are having spring training in Phoenix have them in the greater Phoenix area. There used to be a team or two outside the Phoenix area down in Tucson, but they have all consolidated to the greater Phoenix area. So it makes it very convenient for anyone who loves baseball to get around to see multiple different teams because they're all within each other about a 1-hour drive, which is awesome. I know that in Florida, in the Grapefruit League, where the other half of Major League Baseball goes, things are spread out a little more. So this is very convenient to come down to the Cactus League and enjoy some amazing weather and entertainment by watching your favorite baseball teams. So if you look at the map right here, you have 10 stadiums and 15 Major League Baseball teams. If you start in the Southwest Valley, you have Goodyear Stadium, which is home of the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. Now, as you make your way north, you have Camelback Ranch Stadium, which is home of the Chicago White Sox and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, the Los Angeles Dodgers are slated to have the highest attendance for any team in spring training right there at Camelback Ranch in the West Valley, primarily because of Shohei Ohtani and the Asian and Japanese influence and contingencies, including the media, that are coming down to follow him. Then as you head further north from Camelback Ranch, you go to Surprise Stadium. Now, Surprise Stadium is home of the Texas Rangers, which won the World Series just 2 years ago, and my beloved Kansas City Royals. Yes, I know it's hard being a Kansas City Royals fan, but I am, and that's where they play. Great stadium to go attend a baseball game. And in the north, you have the Peoria Sports Complex, which is home of the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres. And rounding out the fifth stadium on the West Valley, you have the American Family Fields of Phoenix, which is home of the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, as you head to the East Valley, Scottsdale is home of 3 of the Major League Baseball teams. You have the Colorado Rockies and the Arizona Diamondbacks that share Talking Stick Fields in North Scottsdale. Now, as you head south in Scottsdale, you go to Scottsdale Stadium in Old Town, which is home of the San Francisco Giants, and a phenomenal place to go watch a game because it's right around so many clubs and restaurants and shopping and nightlife. It is a phenomenal place to see a game. And then the furthest east stadium in Mesa is Hohokam Stadium, which is the home of the Oakland Athletics. And then Mesa, right next to them, is Sloan Park, which is home of the Chicago Cubs and a really popular spot for spring training. And then rounding out the fifth stadium on the East Valley, you have Tempo Diablo Stadium, which is home of the Los Angeles Angels. And as I mentioned, all the stadiums are pretty much within a 1-hour drive from all of each other. So it makes it very convenient to get around town and watch these games. Now let's talk about game times. Game times across the board for the vast majority of these games are all going to be starting right around 1 o'clock. Some will have a 1:05 or 1:10 p.m. start time, but around 1 o'clock local time is when most of these games will be taking place. And speaking of local time, let's make sure you understand the time zone that we're in as well. See, most of the spring training is going to be in the mountain time zone, but in March, daylight savings time occurs, and guess what? Arizona? Yeah, we don't play by those rules, so we don't acknowledge daylight savings times. And so the second half of spring training is going to be in the Pacific time zone. So set your clocks or not, and make sure you're aware you're on the right time zone when planning your trip to watch spring training baseball here in Phoenix. And then what's really cool is every once in a while, there'll be a night game, and those night games start about 6:40 p.m. local time. And that's exciting, that's really fun. Those sell out pretty quick because there's not too many of them. See, most of those spring training games are in the midday, 1 o'clock time slot. Now let's talk about ticket prices. See, when I first moved to Phoenix about 20 years ago, ticket prices, well, let's just say they were a lot cheaper than they are today. Thanks, inflation. but it's still a great place to go out and watch a game, whether it's a date night, whether it's a family event, whatever it may be. It is a phenomenal thing to do. It's America's pastime, right? After all. Now, where will you sit? See, the vast majority of these spring training stadiums have an outfield berm area, which is usually a slanted grass area where you can bring a blanket if you want or not, where you can sit at an elevated angle and relax and watch the game from the outfield. Those are going to be your cheapest seats. Now, when I first came to Arizona, those were like $3 to $5 a seat for a spring training game. Now, those are starting for most stadiums around $20 for a ticket. Yeah, I know, to sit on the grass in the outfield, but it's still a great experience. Outside of that, ticket prices are going to be very similar to any other stadium. Obviously, closest you are to home plate or the dugouts down below, it's going to be the most expensive ticket. And then, of course, as you go a little higher in the stadium, again, the stadiums aren't overly large because they're spring training stadiums. But as you go a little higher, the ticket prices get a little bit cheaper. And of course, as you go out down the right field and left field lines, they get a little bit cheaper as well. Now, where do I buy tickets for spring training? Well, you can buy them on all the online major platforms like Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, StubHub, and the list goes on. You can also buy them at MajorLeagueBaseball.com or go to the CactusLeague.com, and there's a link there to purchase tickets for your favorite team. Now, another question I get all the time is, what should I wear to these games? Well, you want to wear something comfortable. It's going to be usually fairly warm, but check the weather because sometimes we get a little bit of rain in the month of February and even March from time to time, although most of the days are sunny and gorgeous. But you want to check that and be comfortable. You want to make sure you have plenty of sunscreen, lather that up everywhere you can, of course, and plenty of water to drink. Now, there are concessions and good concessions across most of these stadiums. I mean, there are some really nice food concepts and restaurants inside the stadium, everything from hot dogs to hamburgers to Chinese food or Mexican food, and all kinds of draft beers, lemonades, waters, and the list goes on. What you would really expect at a Major League Baseball regular season game, you will find at these spring training games all day long. Now, a lot of these stadiums have event plazas where there are private events being thrown all the time. So if you're thinking about maybe throwing a private event, this is a good option to have your clients come out to and enjoy a great day at the ballpark. So where do people stay around these stadiums when they come to a game? Well, typically people aren't coming just for baseball, but whether you are or not, it doesn't really matter because there's a plethora of resorts around most and all of these stadiums to choose from, let alone regular hotels and or Airbnbs and VRBOs. Now, if you're looking for convenience, you want to stay close to your stadium of the team that you really want to see the most. That just makes a lot of sense. But if you're looking for entertainment, you might want to stay in Scottsdale, Old Town Scottsdale, Central Scottsdale, because there's a lot you can get into right there. And when it comes to Airbnbs and VRBOs, there are a lot to choose from. There is no shortages of those around the Phoenix area. There's going to be a lot more to choose from in the Scottsdale area and the Tempe area, more so than the West Valley, but there's still plenty to choose from out there as well. You will not have a problem finding one of those to rent, but just be prepared because a lot of owners understand that, and there are surcharges and fees they may tack on because they know it's the high season down here in the Phoenix area. Another question we get all the time is, can I get autographs from the players? And the answer is absolutely. It is definitely possible. There are three main ways to do that. Number one, come early to the game. You'll see them out there warming up, and because the stadiums are so small, a lot of times you'll have access to just be in the front row down there and wave to the players and ask them for an autograph. And a lot of times they will oblige and they'll do that. Or you can stay late. A lot of times after the game is over, players will come out of the locker room and they'll go and hit some batting practice or pitching, catching, whatever, at one of the fields off of the main field nearby, and you can grab them there and they'll be happy to sign your autographs. At least most of them will. And the third way is the open practice. Okay, see, a lot of these practices down here are actually open to the public. People don't really understand or know that, but they are posted online. Check it out for your favorite team and go there, and it's a great time and place to get an autograph. Now, because there are 10 different stadiums and 15 different Major League Baseball teams, I don't know what your favorite team is and therefore where you want to spend most of your time, but if you give us a call at 480-660-5974, I'd be happy to take a deep dive on your city, your location, where you're going to spend the most time when it comes to watching your favorite team. See, there are golf courses all over the place. I would highly recommend playing some desert golf. It's something you don't get a chance to do very often. I would highly recommend some hiking, some trails, and exploring the food scene, which has gotten so much better here in Phoenix over the past 10 to 15 years. Oh, one last thing for you. If you want to come out here and add another day or two onto your trip at the front or back end, we'd be happy to show you some real estate and some properties around your favorite stadium or your favorite city or suburb here in the Phoenix Phoenix area. See, real estate has taken off over the past 20 years. We have clients that come down to Arizona every single year to watch spring training baseball, and some of them have purchased real estate and are so happy they did because of the equity they have accumulated in the real estate market here in Phoenix over that time. We've got the ones who do VRBOs every time they come down here, and that works for them. So whatever works for you, we'd be happy to accommodate and help any way we possibly can. Whether it's a lock and leave condo where you have zero maintenance to worry about, or a sprawling estate on a large lot, we'd be happy to show you in these properties and give you some detailed information in terms of the data and the numbers when it comes to these houses and what it may look like for a real estate investment on your part while being here in the Phoenix area. If you have any questions about baseball, real estate, or anything that has to do about the Phoenix area, give me a call, 480-660-5974, as we are passionate about showing everything that our beautiful city of Phoenix has to offer. I hope you enjoyed our video and found some education and entertainment out of it. And don't forget to call me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to call and take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the park. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever come back. So let's root for the